Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be talking about the top 5 heroes. Well, 5 heroes, one for each and every role, what I think is the best hero for every single role in the current meta. So yeah, honestly, after patch 7.32c, a lot of things have shifted around. A lot of heroes that I originally thought were really powerful, I've sort of written off. I'm not going to talk about that in today's video. I'll probably make a separate video on heroes you should avoid in the current patch. But for now, let's talk about what's most broken in Dota. And now I want to tell you guys a little bit about Dota Plus from Overwolf. This is a free stats app you guys can download right now that's going to show you your stats for the last 3 months. So if you want to know your games played, your MMR, your win rate, your XPM, your GPM, all of these things you need to track to know how well you're doing and what you need to change to gain MMR, you can get for absolutely free. On top of that, the biggest reason why you need to download Dota Plus, at least for me, is the ban suggestions. Basically, it tells you what the enemy team is good at. It tells you their best heroes, what they've been winning with. You just ban it. You might be wondering why your good heroes, why your best heroes keep getting banned. It's because of Dota Plus. The enemy team is using it and banning out your best heroes. So go download Dota Plus right now, and I'll see you guys there. Alright, so let's start off with the position 1 role, the safe laner of the patch. And Riki was one of the most buffed heroes of 7.32c. If you don't know what they changed about the hero, let me quickly go over it. Basically, they gave him one very straightforward change. They made the radius of smokescreen increased from 300 to 375 flat. Basically, the ability used to max out at 375 radius at, well, what would it be, level 13-ish? You would have it maxed out? That's super late into the game. You'll often have defusal way before that timing, and I'm sure if you're a Riki player, you're going to understand what I mean when I say if you're trying to kill someone and you defusal them, you want to keep them in the smokescreen for as long as possible. That's often the main reason why Riki buys defusal, to keep them in smokescreen. The radius increase on smokescreen is nearly a 30% increase. It's really significant because radius is a big deal as well, as it goes obviously in every single direction. The increase is way bigger than you might imagine. And this one change has made Riki increase in win rate by about 2.5%, a huge change. So I think honestly in your average pub, the hero is quite strong. I don't think it's necessarily that broken overall, but I do think that it actually matches up well, at least pretty well against Drow, who's doing quite well right now. Doing quite well against Arc Warden, and honestly it's decent against even a lot of the popular mids that I'm seeing, which is like Invoker, Lina, and Shadow Fiend as well. So I think it has pretty good matchups in the meta. The hero did receive a big buff in this recent patch, and I think it received buffs in 7.32 as well, making the hero a top pick for me and a 54% win rate hero in pubs right now. Now let's talk about the mid lane. I have a lot to say about Invoker. Now his win rate isn't necessarily that high. I think there's a couple reasons for this. Number one, there's a lot of ways you can play Invoker, and as a result, the hero can be played in suboptimal ways based on whether or not you go Quas Wex or Wex Exort or Quas Exort. And I think Quas Exort is the best way to go right now, and the primary way you should play is in full attempt to get to level 20 as fast as humanly possible. Basically, this 80% meteor damage talent in combination with your shard is some of the most broken late game stuff I've seen in Dota. If you don't know what Invoker Shard does, it reduces the cooldown of Chaos Meteor by 15, which is huge, 45 seconds to 30 if I'm not mistaken. And then on top of that, it shoots 3 of these meatballs. It's crazy, right? Because heroes are inevitably going to get hit by the meteor, and of course, you should try to pair Invoker with combos like Faceless Void or other AoE stunners like Refresher Tidehunter. And if you can manage to do this, even if you just buy Hex, like honestly, I think the best Invoker build right now is Midas into bots, into BKB, into Blink, into Hex. Sometimes Blink before BKB. And the reason why is by the time you get the Hex, you're going to be level 20. Then of course you buy your shard, and this talent just shreds. Like, it's actually ridiculous how much damage it does. When you meteor someone, it's almost guaranteed to force out their BKB. And so I'm just a big fan of Invoker. I think it has almost no losing matchups mid. I think this level 20 talent is pretty freaking nuts. It has Tornado cooldown at level 10, which you don't take until level like 20, 21, 22. Like, you don't take it until giga late on the average high skill Invoker build, but it's still really good to have Tornado cooldown at 10, Cold Snap cooldown at 15, this broken meteor talent at 20, and Radial Deafening Blast at 25. Coming in on the off lane, we have Legion Commander. I've talked about this hero quite a bit now, and I have some videos on it that I actually just recently posted. So I recommend if you're going to check out Legion Commander and want to consider picking the hero, to definitely go check out those videos. So why Legion Commander? What is good about this hero? Honestly, the hero just feels good to me. It just feels like a really, really smooth hero. There's something about the armlet build in particular. I honestly think that armlet is the best item you can buy on this hero. If you aren't familiar, armlet is the highest possible DPS item you can buy on any strength hero by a long shot. For the cost of the item, it gives you like 55 damage, which is literally the same cost as the same damage as like a sacred relic, and you still get attack speed and armor, and attack speed makes the damage way better. So this item is just nutty, considering it's only what, like 2,300 gold? It's around that. The point is that Armlet Legion feels great to me. I'm a huge fan of this variant. And if you can manage to win the lane on Legion, which often you can, right? This is one of those heroes that is a lane dominator. I think you could play it around overwhelming odds if you have a kill lane, right? Let's say you're laning with Skyrath, you can go for overwhelming odds and play to dominate your lane with kills. Or you can go press the attack and max your E, and you can actually play to sustain the lane and look to just trade, keep your HP up and deny creeps. Especially when you get your 7-8 minute armlet, you can just deny every single creep, keep the wave back, and prevent the safe laner from farming. And if they dare try to contest you, you can just deny all their creeps. Now, that's good, but what's really buffed about Legion? Honestly, man, I know I keep going back to it, but this duel talent at level 10 is crazy. The fact that you get 18 damage per duel at level 10, it just snowballs so fast. Like, in the past, when you would have 30 duel damage, now you have, what, 54? I mean, that's crazy, right? That's crazy. It's insane, considering you have press the attack speed, and Moment of Courage, giving you bonus attacks. The amount of damage this talent is crazy over time, so huge fan of this. Blade Mail got buffed as well. I think Armlet's pretty good. I think her abilities are good. Duel got mega buffed. I feel like everything kind of is lining up for Legion. If this hero somehow gets buffed again, because it's not getting respected in the pro scene, and I don't think it will, but if that is the case, and this hero gets buffed again, it's going to be the best hero in Dota, and you can quote me on that. Coming in at number 4 is Skyrath Mage. Honestly, I don't think there's a lot of broken position fours right now. I think at a competitive level, the main one is probably Marcy, but I think at a pub level, I wouldn't recommend Marcy at all. So honestly, Skyrath Mage is probably my go-to. That or Mirana. I just think that Skyrath lanes well with a lot of the current popular offlaners and synergizes well. For instance, Legion Skyrath, great combo. Duel, Sky ulti, free duel damage. It also just dominates the lane with Primal Beast, which is a very popular hero right now. It dominates the lane with Primal Beast. I think it's really good with the Zoo heroes. It kind of just wins one-on-one trades with the position 5 a lot of the times, so it can give Zoo heroes a free lane. I think it's good with Magnus, which is a hero I'm kind of fond of. I think it's good with Undying. It's just a well-rounded hero, I believe. And so there's nothing too special about it. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to go ahead and say like, oh, this hero is completely broken and there's nothing that counters it. It's like, yeah, you could have a Lycan on the enemy team, in which case Skyrath is going to feel a little bit questionable in the team fights. But for the most part, if the enemy team has like, for instance, if they have like a Morphling as their carry, or they have a Juggernaut or a Faceless Void, you are incredibly good in these matchups. Any of these matchups where a hard silence is extremely valuable. For instance, when I'm playing Primal Beast, I can't really kill Morphling or Void or Lifestealer. I just don't threaten them, or Monkey King. But with the Skyrath on my team, that 3-second silence in the early game gives you the kill potential. So it's really just a very well-rounded hero, especially when paired with heroes like Legion and Primal. I think Primal is probably my favorite Skyrath combo in the game right now. And coming in at number 5, we have a crazy one that is really shooting up. A 56% win rate out of nowhere. And that is Silencer. This hero is dominating. Now, why might it be dominating? Well, they gave it 100 damage flat on its Q, which is pretty insane, right? They also gave it 1 base armor. This hero got some really major buffs. The fact that its Q is also a range creep secure, kind of now, is pretty crazy. Right, it's 40 damage, so you can secure range creeps with an auto arcane curse, or if you're cutting it close, just a Q. So you have a range creep secure. It's better for pulling. It cancels blinks faster. It does 100 damage flat on a very low cooldown. What is it? 14 seconds. So like in the course of a team fight, you're gonna do 300 bonus AOE damage, which is a ton in the early game if you manage to get 3 of these off. Even 2 is plenty bonus damage from what this hero used to do. So yeah, it just got 1 base armor and 100 instant burst damage, which is a lot. It definitely is a lot. Like, it super matters. So yeah, I would recommend trying out Silencer. If you're a 5 player, I think it's one of the best possible heroes in pubs. Max out the Q, max out the E, and the amount of damage you're gonna do, especially if they get silenced with the Q, it's a pretty crazy amount of damage. Also, I'm not sure how this works. Maybe you guys could comment it down below. But typically when you cast Arcane Curse, the ability does 50% bonus slow and damage. This also might apply on the initial damage, which is pretty notable as well. But nonetheless, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed and hopefully you learned a little bit about the top meta heroes of the patch. If you agree or disagree or want to add your input on what you think are the best position 1, 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s and heroes you've been having success on, yeah, leave it down in the comment section down below. I'll be happy to read them and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the Game Leap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.